It is my sincere opinion that the Biden administration should just come out and say openly that they hate America and they hate Americans. I have been talking about this border crisis since late 2022. Today is the 30th of January 2024. So over a year and about 2 to 3 months, right? 14 to 15 months. I saw where it was going. It was untenable then. I don't even know what point we are at right now. The numbers are ranging from 8 million since Biden took office to roughly 9 million. How much of that is accurate? I don't even know. I could not tell you. I don't even think Border Patrol knows specifically. Because from the footage I've seen online from different channels, and I mean talking about Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, there are people coming over the border in California, Arizona, Texas. I mean, wherever they can get in, they're getting in. It is obvious at this point. If you voted Democrat before and you currently have an IQ above room temperature, you should not be voting Democrat again. Not if you're an American. I don't even care if you're an immigrant that has citizenship. There is no way that you should be okay with people coming in here illegally. And, as I said, not just if you're a born American. No, even if you're naturalized, had to go through the process yourself. You know what it takes, right? The fingerprints, the appointments, going to see whatever the name of that place is, that department that you have to go to, to get your citizenship papers and what have you. Yeah, you had to go through all the hoops. But there are people just walking in. And apparently the Biden administration is completely okay with this. The same people, right? The very same people who will terrorize you through mass media, right? If there's some sort of attack or some sort of threat, you will just let in random people into the country, no vetting process whatsoever. How does that make sense? Let's really think about that for a moment. In a country that has its fingers in so many pies across the world, you would think that they would want to be more careful about who they let in here. Is that what we're seeing? Or, am I just talking to a bunch of brain dead individuals and there's actually no point to this? I would like to think that some of the listeners out there can see what's going on. And as I said, Biden and his cronies, just, say you hate America, put everybody's mind at ease so we all know what you're trying to do. Stop being coy about it. You're trying to destroy the country. Let's just put it that way. Because I cannot see any other possible reason for allowing this to continue.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott refusing to give up control of the Texas border to federal officials, saying the state will not give federal agents full access to Shelby Park today. That ignores a deadline set by the Biden administration, which is today. Instead, Abbott is installing more razor wire following a Supreme Court order allowing federal agents to start removing it. Texas now receiving support from 25 Republican governors, all backing Governor Abbott's border actions, blaming the Biden administration for the crisis. Former President Trump wants to take it one step further. He's now encouraging these states to deploy their National Guard troops to Texas to prevent illegal crossings. Trump's vowing that if he becomes president again, he's going to work with Abbott to seal the border. Writing, quote, Biden says let in those should not get comfortable because they will be going home. I want to bring in Texas Congressman Lieutenant Colonel Keith Self. Congressman, good morning. Governor Kristi Noem already saying, yes, I would send National Guard troops. Is that something that you think that Texas is open to? And is that a move that needs to be made now?
Well, that will be up to Governor Abbott. But I think the border has now reached the boiling point that you now see governors getting involved. We have a trucker convoy coming down to the border. The American people are going to have to get involved. I'm delighted to see 25 governors support Governor Abbott. And yeah, I think we're going to have to be aware that the president can federalize the National Guard, but it would be much harder if 25 governors sent their National Guard troops to the border to support Texas.
Karine Jean-Pierre has been asked about this, and of course she's defending her boss, President Biden, but her response is always interesting. It still seems to be a gaslighting type of response from her. The border is secure. We're working on the border. Secretary Mayorkas, we're very aware of the issues down there, but their goal is to process migrants, not to stop the flow of migrants across the border.
Cheryl, I was on the border just 3 weeks ago, and that's exactly what the Border Patrol is doing. They have 72 hours to process the illegal immigrants, turn them over to ICE or a nonprofit to move them into the interior of the United States. They are not there to stop the invasion. And that's perfectly clear to anyone that's been on the border, anyone that sees the videos. At one point during the tsunami of probably a month ago, there were no Border Patrol agents actually in the field. They were all in the office processing paperwork during that tsunami.
I cannot believe at this point in the game there is anyone that would call themselves a staunch Democrat and supporter of Joe Biden. To me, I cannot even fathom it. But there seems to be. So my question to you is, to what end? Why do you want this country to be destroyed? Why would you allow all these unknowns into the country without a proper vetting process? To what end? I mean, if they're responsible for bringing in fentanyl, drugs, guns, right? All the things that are destroying thousands of lives, tens of thousands of lives. Why would you continue to allow it? Let's not talk about the trafficking of human beings, actual people, right? That's big too. So to what end? That's the question. Now, Greg Abbott has finally taken a stand, apparently tired of sitting on his hands. And what do you think comes next? What is the obvious next course? Civil war. If Texas takes a stand and says, hey, we're not budging, Biden and them say, hey, we're not budging, what do you really think comes out of that situation? Yes, Greg Abbott has support. Are we looking at another split? That's what I see coming down the pipeline. It's inevitable. Somebody is going to have to budge. And I think Texas has had just about enough of the Biden administration as they could put up with. What's her name? Karine Jean-Pierre and her constant lies up on that podium. I mean, woman looks like a Raggedy Ann doll or some sort of gollywog or something. She's a token black, obviously. I don't know if this woman is even educated or intelligent. I can't tell by the way she fumbles over herself. I mean, press secretary of the highest office in the nation. And this woman is just constantly repeating the same blurbs and, little sound bites that she's been doing for the past 3 years. has nothing new to offer at all. I don't know how she still has that. Well, she still has that job because she's a token black. That's just what that is. It's unfortunate, but that's what we're looking at. She's one of those DEI hires, diversity, equity, and inclusion. But as I said previously, if you have an IQ above room temperature, where this is going is civil war. Kind of like the movie Captain America. The fracture is coming. People are going to have to pick sides. The people who want the border protected because it is the right thing to do, right? That's going to be one side. The people who are like, hey, let him in. Hey, no big deal. Letting the drugs, letting the guns, the fentanyl, the smugglers, right? The those that trade in flesh. Yeah, let them all in. In what world does that make any sense? I mean, please, any listener on here, drop me a comment. Tell me if it makes any sense to you. This is like you having your home, right? Your private home. Let's say you live on an acre of land, right? You have up, your fences and stuff. One day you're outside with your kids, you notice the fence is broken, right? And these random animals that coming in, you're like, damn, I gotta fix that fence. I'm like, I'm gonna get to it. You don't get to it. Next thing you know, they're trampling your yard, crapping all over the place. Then the hole gets bigger, more animals are coming in. Pretty soon, people are walking in. Next thing you know, your house gets broken into. Why? You didn't fix the hole in your fence. Now, who in their right mind, right? Let's say you have a nice house, right? Let's say you have a nice house, 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom, sitting on an acre of land, nice greenery, maybe even have a pool, right? A few trees around, got a few kids, living the good life. Are you really going to want random people walking in and out of your yard, coming to use your pool without your permission, squatting on your property? Really? Or do you want your property protected for yourself and your family? Ask yourself that question. Because I can't imagine my child being put out of school to do lessons remotely because their school has to be used for illegal immigrants to house them. That's what's going on in New York City right now. Mind you, we have schools right here in New York that don't even have a 10th grade math teacher. We have schools right here in New York where kids don't even have lockers to put their heavy jackets during the winter time. You think this is BS? I can speak to students from my high school right here in the Bronx. No lockers, no math teacher. The classrooms that have no whiteboards. What is going on? Ask yourself that question. All the proponents of Joe Biden, oh, he's doing such a bang up job. No, he's not. Boosting the economy with fiat currency, which is basically monopoly money, that is not doing a good job. The Fed is going to get theirs because all of it has to be paid back some way, somehow. You bet your bottom dollar. All he's doing is further bankrupting this country, driving us into debt, making things harder for everybody, letting in a whole bunch of illegals, which will lead where? What's the end game? How do you see it playing out? If you have any wisdom at all, just something to think about. For more content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, do me a favor, share, subscribe. That's all I ask. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.